Greetings, and welcome back to another episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, the show where I, the curator, discuss my personal favorite show of all time, personal favorite franchise of all time, Doctor Who. And this is a new couch covering thing that is now making my life harder because now the Pokemon can't properly stay where they should. So the amount of available space left for me to sit on this couch has been severely limited, even more than it already has been. But we're not here to talk about my couch trouble. We're here to talk about Doctor Who, and more specifically, the sonic screwdriver of Doctor Who. And here to talk about this topic with me is my good friend. Hold on, let me just bring him on air. Soda, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, 50. You? There we
I'm,
go.
I'm doing fine. Looks like both of us have some new couch arrangements
A
for this
little
episode.
bit, yeah. Yeah, no, unfortunately, sometimes when I have to do a live wrestling watch along, I have to move my stuff in the living room. So, yeah, I just haven't moved it back yet.
Yeah, well, you move back whenever you feel like it. You don't
Yep.
owe nobody nothing, and then that's a fact. Yeah, you go, guy.
Yep. So, 50, what are we talking about today?
Well, first, you know what comes first, right?
Yep. Happy
Birthday
birthday to
section.
you.
Happy birthday to you! And boy, oh boy, we've got some heavy hitters today in this week. And oh look, even Bear showed up to
Don't try to run away there.
try and run away from the fun. Of course, we are counting down the birthdays from the 25th of September. Sorry, 26th of September all the way to the 2nd of October. And like I said, some heavy hitters because starting us off from the 26th itself, we have Miss Anne Robinson.
That's
Your
not the
female.
weakest link, Ann Robinson, is it?
Yes, it is.
Sorry, the hair's different, so it took me a moment.
Yeah, she has changed it a lot since her weakest link days. I don't even know if she's still doing the weakest link, but yeah,
No, she
as
hasn't done the weakest link in years.
me neither. But well, sorry, I mean I haven't watched it in years, but
Yeah, she hasn't done the show. Well, she ended her main run in 2012, then she came back for 1 year in 2017.
the show stuff is still going.
Um, yeah, looks like it. Or there's a revival.
Oh, okay, cool. So, of course, she not only hosted the weakest thing for the longest time, but she also kind of was depicted in a weakest link, futuristic weakest link
Yep.
version in Doctor Who in the episode Bad Wolf. And of course, she hosted a uh, weakest link, a Doctor Who themed weakest link. And I'm pretty sure she actually hosted two. I definitely remember there was a second one with the classic Doctors. I just can't remember for the life of me if she was the one that hosted that one. But either way, he's already on the thing. He's
Oh,
already
I've been
on
on
the
the
thing.
phone the whole time. It doesn't mention anything about the old doctors. It just mentions her appearance in Bad Wolf.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean that's I guess that nowadays that's enough for a mention in our books.
Yeah.
Now on the 27th, we spend more time talking about her than actual screen time that the android had in Doctor Who.
Pretty much. But you
But
gotta understand, though, she was part of the pop culture zeitgeist there for a long time. At one point, everyone knew you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
yes, thank you for making this part of the segment longer than it needs to be. On the 27th, we have Mr. Dominic Glynn. He, of course, provided the theme score, and the incidental music for Colin Baker's last season, also known as the Trial of a Time Lord season. So I recommend checking that one out. On the 27th, again, we have Milton Subotsky. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name. He wrote and produced both of the Peter Cushing movies from the 60s.
Very nice. Okay, still haven't seen them.
I recommend giving them a watch just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I have access to them. I just haven't watched them yet.
You know, again, just keep in mind that they're movie adaptations of existing episodes.
Yeah.
Now, on the 27th, still on 27th, wow, a lot of people on that date, we have Miss Kismet Delgado. Again, apologize if I mispronounced the name. She voiced a spider in the Planet of the Spiders, uh,
Ah,
John Pertwee's final episode. But I mean, if you couldn't already tell from the name, she was, of course, at the time married to Roger Delgado, the
I
first
kind of
master.
figured with the name. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is probably the main reason I decided to keep her on today's list. On the 29th, we have the man, the myth, the living legend himself, Nicholas Briggs,
Ah,
who, of course, is the iconic and timeless, ageless voice of the Daleks, as well as several other uh, notable uh, Doctor Who monsters like the Cybermen, the Ice Warriors, the Jadoon as well, and like he, the guy, pretty much kind of runs Big Finish. Like I mean, he doesn't run Big Finish, but he's very very high up. At least as far as the story group goes, like he's in charge of the stories and content. He doesn't manage the whole company, but I mean, the guy has his name on just about every Big Finish release ever, Doctor Who or otherwise. So yeah, mad respect for this guy.
yeah,
On
no
the
kidding.
on the 1st of October, we have yet another living legend still with us, the Honorable Mr. Philip Hinchcliffe,
Sure.
who of course was the main showrunner for Tom Baker's first couple of seasons, first three seasons, if I remember correctly. He was producer, but I mean, it's a capacity that would be considered showrunner by today's standards. And of course, he was one of the Morbius doctors in the Brain of Morbius.
Oh, that's why he looks familiar. Okay.
Now we talked about him last week. Yeah, well, last week we
Yeah,
did.
we did, but these names and faces are still relatively new to me.
For now,
For now.
on this, because I'm pretty sure that you're gonna recognize the next one because on the 2nd of October we got several people, starting with Ian McNeice.
Who? No, I'm kidding.
Well done, sir. Yeah, he of course played Winston Churchill on stage, and he apparently did it so good that they actually cast him as Winston Churchill in Doctor Who, a role which he has continued to appear in TV and audio over and over again, and they just keep bringing him back because he does such a really good Winston Churchill. And on the
Whoa,
second
whoa.
again,
My
what?
first, my first introduction to him, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one though. I have not heard a single good thing about it.
Really? Oh, I know a lot of people that actually preferred to the first one.
Really? You do?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll put it on the list. I'll
yeah.
put it on the list. Now on the second again, we have Lucy Kohu. She played the character of Alice Carter, which was secretly the daughter of Captain Jack Harkness in the 5-part Children of Earth Torchwood storyline.
I've
You
never seen
forgot
that. I
that
gotta
one.
look that. That's actually
What?
the one I haven't seen from Torchwood.
Dang it! I was going to ask you if you've seen it already. Never
No,
mind.
the reason why is because when I was into like really into watching all that stuff, I had no access to it. I had access to the first 3 seasons of Torchwood, but I did not have access to Children of Earth.
Dang it! But that is the third season.
Sorry, I had access to the first 2 seasons.
All right, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Now, technically, the last on our on this the 2nd of October, we have Mr. Gabriel Wolf. I'm betting you know who this guy played at least.
Well, I
He
clearly don't know his real name, so yeah.
So he played the character of Sutek the Destroyer in the Pyramids of Mars, but he then came back to the franchise year later as the Beast in the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit.
Oh.
And of course, he continues to play the character of Sutek over and over again on Big Finish. And of course, he has also played the character of Rossiter in the Big Finish side of things, a character that eventually married one of the Doctor's companions, Evelyn Smythe. Now, he was the last for the 2nd of August, but we also have someone else whose birthday is not registered neither on the website I usually get these from, nor on Wikipedia or IMDb, which is weird, but it's listed as somewhere in September, so I decided to include it here. And of course, I'm talking about Miss Nikki Wilson. She was she maybe was a producer on a big chunk of the Sarah Jane Adventures, which of course later she moved on to being a producer of for Peter Capaldi's several episodes of the Peter Capaldi run, all leading up all the way to his final season. And then of course she was the series producer for the entirety of the Jodie Whittaker era of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's pretty important. It's kind of weird that nowhere is her birthday listed, but
A little weird.
what?
A little weird.
Yeah, but we're acknowledging her on this day. So for the wonderful list of people we have today, thank you all. We quite literally could not do this without you.
Yep.
So how about some sonic screwdrivers? Am I right?
Darn tootin'.
Now, you generally know how things tend to go whenever we do anything about Doctor Who, right? Usually we spend like the first hour talking about just the first Doctor stuff, right?
Yep. Although I know that will not be the case this time because not every doctor had a sonic screwdriver.
Yes, thank you for spoiling my next point. We are saved from this happening to us today because the first Doctor did not have a sonic screwdriver. And as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, he wasn't much of a gadget person to begin with. Neither the actor nor the character.
No.
This all started with the second Doctor in the episode Fury from the Deep. Now, of course, the episode itself is missing because the BBC are all idiots.
Mm-hmm.
But
Doesn't mean it's still not out there.
yeah, it still is out there. You can still find it, and this also may surprise you as well because back then, in its first couple of appearances, the sonic screwdriver looked like this.
Yep. A pen light.
Yeah, I would have figured you would have been more surprised by this, but oh nope, this was the sonic screwdriver at the time. How is this even considered a screwdriver? I have no idea.
Well, how are any of the other ones considered a screwdriver, considering none of them resemble a screwdriver?
Yeah, but all the other ones at least look sci-fi-ish. This just looks like a pen torch.
And honestly, I don't think they thought it out that much.
Clearly, but I mean, it was kind of introduced as an important gadget that the Doctor. I mean, it was kind of. It was one of those one-off things that the second Doctor used to throw in every once in a while. So for its debut appearance, I get that, but then they keep bringing it back and back, and it's like it's one of, if not the only. Sorry, one of the few, if not the only, recurring gadgets that actually comes back multiple episodes after its introduction, as opposed to all the other stuff that just gets shown and then never seen or heard from ever again. So why didn't they put a little bit of effort into it, at least in some of its later appearances.
Because they weren't expecting it to still be playing 60 years later.
I'm not talking about that. I mean, by that point, they already knew the show was big. The show was huge. It was massive. So they at least could have put a little bit of effort into a recurring gadget, right? The same way they put a lot of effort into the TARDIS or any other, or the villains or any some of the, or I mean, Unit was already up and running by the time this was introduced.
50,
So,
you got to remember, this is a company we're talking about that burned all of their negatives. They clearly
well,
don't think.
they're idiots. We know that.
Exactly.
But the production team, I'm talking about the production team, not the BBC.
Maybe they just didn't have any money. There could be many reasons why it doesn't look like this at the beginning.
I'm not saying look like this, but just at least put an effort into something. I feel like we're kind of hung up on this point. So
A little bit.
A little bit. So, as someone who has not seen the episode, because it's missing, what do you think this thing was used for in the episode itself?
Probably to open a door.
Nope. You're projecting what you know about the sonic screwdriver now in the modern era onto something that was introduced 50 years prior. 50 plus years.
Then I don't know.
It was, hold on, let me just give you the drum roll again. It was introduced as
A paperweight.
a screwdriver.
An actual screwdriver.
Yes, who would have figured the reason that sonic screwdriver is called a sonic screwdriver is because the Doctor used it as a frickin' screwdriver. Literally to unscrew screws.
Huh.
And even though the episode itself is missing, there is an animated reconstruction which gives us this scene.
Have to use this. What's that? It's a sonic screwdriver. Never fails. There we are. Neat, isn't it? All done by sound waves.
Well, hopefully we don't get copyright strike for that.
I mean, we aren't talking about it, so it
But
still
it's the
falls
BBC,
under
man.
fair use. What?
It is the BBC.
Yes, the BBC, which we have disputed many times in the past and won.
Yep.
Myself especially. Now, like I said, it was originally devised as a screwdriver just to open a box on a random pipe on the beach somewhere so that the Doctor can explore. Now, of course, this was just to set up that the power of sound waves can do all kinds of things, like unscrew screws and whatnot. And this was all just to set up a plot line later in the episode where they fought giant seaweed creatures, kid you not, who apparently were sensitive to sound. All right? Now, and again, this was all just to set up the fact that because Victoria was primarily known as the Scream Girl, the girl that always screams whenever she finds alien creatures.
Oh, the companion Victoria. Okay, I was like Queen Victoria.
No. Not every Victoria is a queen, you know. But yeah, it was all just to set up the fact that whenever she encountered the seaweed creatures, she screamed her head off, and that's what killed them. So it was all the introduction of the sonic screwdriver wasn't there to service the to introduce the screwdriver itself. It was just to service that other plot line.
So literally, it was just a MacGuffin.
Even less so. Like a part of a MacGuffin. Now that being said, apparently it proved really popular with some people, and they kept bringing it back over and over again. Its next appearance was in the immediate next season. As a matter of fact, it was the season opener, The Dominators, which featured the return of the sonic screwdriver, and now it did a little bit more than open screws, than just used as a screwdriver. Now, can you guess what they used it in that episode for?
Well, not to stir drinks.
Hold on.
Probably in a similar vein to the screws. It's something very menial, like what a screwdriver is supposed to do. I could be way off.
Yes, you were.
I think you'd better let me start it, Jamie.
Now, how are you going to dig through there with your sonic screwdriver?
It's a little more than a screwdriver. Just watch this.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. And did you notice he holds it like a gun?
Yes. I thought it was kind of weird.
Very.
But I guess the size of the thing kind of helps a lot.
It's
Like-
holding it like this. So weird.
But it is relatively similar to the way the doctors hold the sonic screwdriver nowadays. Because in the classic series, it was usually just held like this, but now the modern doctors sort of hold it like this, in this position.
Yeah, so basically it went from this to actually like a weapon.
Yeah. So this kind of was a precursor to the modern screwdrivers. I thought it was interesting in more ways than one, because now we learn that the sonic screwdriver can be used for other stuff as well. And they used it to burn a hole in the wall, which they then used to capture a bomb that was lower down a shaft. It's a long story, but watch the episode. I love it. It's one of my. I think it's underrated. An underrated series opener, at the very least. And of course, it was featured again in the same season in Patrick Troughton's final episode or serial at the time, The War Games, and we even have a color picture this time around, a colorized picture seen from the episode The War Games. Now, can you guess where the sonic screwdriver was used for that episode this time around?
We've had a screwdriver. We've had the blasting through wall thing. To short circuit something.
Very cool guess.
Ah, damn.
Look, I can prove to you that we come from another time. This is a sonic screwdriver. Now, where can I demonstrate? That revolver will do. It's all right. There we are. And back it goes.
He literally just redid the first thing.
Yes, I know, but I was gonna just explain it, but I kind of liked it better where you had to guess and guess wrong. So they went from a literal screwdriver to something that can cut through a wall, back to a screwdriver again. So yeah, again, this was still very early days for the sonic screwdriver before it became the massively overpowered, get out of any situation easily gadget that it is today. But yeah, like I said, in the second Doctor's era, which was the era that introduced this device, it only had all three appearances all throughout its the second Doctor's run, and it was also introduced relatively very late into the second Doctor's era. Now, it was mentioned several times throughout the third Doctor's first season, but having recently rewatched that entire season, I cannot for the life of me remember if that screwdriver actually appeared. Like, he kept talking about it, he kept mentioning it. There was a device very similar to the screwdriver, which all it really did was it was used to literally open doors, one door specifically, but the Doctor just named it the door handle, and I guess that's how they got the idea to that oh yeah, the sonic screwdriver can open doors now.
Okay then.
But when you stop and think about it, it is a very logical leap. Like, you can use an actual real screwdriver to jam open doors.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot say that haven't used this on several occasions in my life, but other people might have. All right, that was a hint there. Never mind. So by the time the sonic screwdriver came back during the third Doctor's era, it got a complete overhaul. And by this point, they knew that they had something on their hands. They had something special on their hands. And of course, John Pertwee himself is very notorious for being a great lover of gadgets and vehicles. Case in point, he had a vehicle during his run as the Doctor. Of course, Bessie, and then of course he had the Whomobile. So he was a man of action. In addition to that, he was a man of gadgets and technology. He really felt like these types of modern sci-fi gadgets were the future for Doctor Who, and he was definitely right, especially about the sonic screwdriver. So now this is the new look for the sonic screwdriver throughout the John Pertwee era of the show. Now you'll notice it does have some similarities to this screwdriver that I have right now, but it's still not quite there yet. It's still got a few updates that it needs to get before it can become a screwdriver that most people are familiar with. Yeah, so here is an image from a scene of him using it in the Sea Devils episode. And since I've already used up the joke of having you guess what the screwdriver does, I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you. So again, we are showing clips. We are talking about the clips that we're showing. So yeah, ease off on the copyright stuff.
BBC, fuck you.
For a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
But fuck you for this one as well. So in the Sonic Screwdriver was featured in a lot of episodes in the John Pertwee era, but I specifically wanted to hone in on two specific occasions where the Sonic Screwdriver is used to great effect, in my opinion, which was the Sea Devils episode. Now, in the Sea Devils episode, in episode 4, the beginning of episode 4, which was a cliffhanger in episode 3, the Dr. Joe are put in what some consider to be an inescapable situation. On one side, I mean, they were chased, they were trapped. On one side, they had a cliff top with the Master on it. On the other side, they had a team of prison guards with guns. On the opposite side of that, they had a minefield, and on the opposite side of the cliff top with the Master, there was an approaching Sea Devil coming to get them. Like, how the hell do you get through that? They went through the minefield, where the Doctor revealed that the sonic screwdriver can also function as an actual mine detector. Watch this.
Look out. Look, there's one over there. I have to move round to the right. Now follow me.
Nice.
Nice what?
That he was able to use as a mine detector.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's not something that we normally usually associate with a sonic screwdriver. I mean, we associate a sonic screwdriver as doing anything. That's not really
That's
something
not one of them, no.
Yeah, that people will generally talk about. But it was heavily used in this scene to great effect. Now, of course, they got through the minefield, or mostly through the minefield, but the Sea Devil kept following them, so the Doctor had to scare him off somehow by using this.
Relax, Joe, relax.
I don't like the computing noise.
The computing noise in the background?
Yeah, I don't like that part of the sonic screwdriver. I find it annoying.
I don't think it was part of Sonic Screwdriver. There was a device that the Master used to control the Sea Devil.
Gotcha. Okay. Either way, I don't like it.
The Sea Devil?
The noise.
Oh yeah. I mean, I find it very distracting.
Yeah.
And annoying. I do love this the sound of the the Sea Devil screaming. Not that I endorse torturing innocent sea creatures. Not that he was innocent, but still, I love the effect, the sound that they were able to construct for the Sea Devils, which actually was reused again in Jodie Whittaker's penultimate episode, Legend of the Sea Devils. So yeah, and also I like that the Doctor can now use the Sonic Screwdriver not just to detect the mines, but to detonate them as well. And of course, being the Doctor, he did not want to use those mines to harm the Sea Devil. He was just trying to scare him off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's totally something the Doctor would do. You're being very unresponsive this episode.
You complain when I respond too much. Now you're picking at the fact that I'm not responding enough. What the hell?
I mean, can't you be in the same mindset as me?
That's really hard when it comes to Doctor Who.
Or in general, but like, all I'm getting from you is like, huh. There's like a point where one can get too unresponsive.
Keep going.
All right, fine. If that's what you like. So of course, the Third Doctor continued to use the Sonic Screwdriver for the remainder of all of his seasons, and this, of course, is a shot from Carnival of Monsters, where he does another interesting thing that I want to point out and bring up. Now, look at this. Look what he. Nope, that's the same one. Hold on. Look at this.
Not gonna lie, out of all the designs that I'm aware of, that's not my favorite.
Of the screwdriver?
Mm-hmm.
I actually like it. I like it a lot. Now, the unfortunate thing is that it doesn't really do much of a noise because it's a sonic screwdriver. It should make a noise. So the noise it always does is just boing. But in this scene, you saw the creatures they were chasing. They're called drashigs. They're mostly blind, so they mainly follow through scent. But they were in this just marshland with lots of methane and all kinds of gases in the air. So the Doctor basically just used the flammability of the gases to ignite the gas and just and have a series of explosions to distract them and chase them away so that Joe can run back to safety.
Okay, so that's another use I didn't know it did.
Did you know? Because in
I said I didn't know it did.
That's what I'm saying. Did you really not know? Because in the episode World War III, the Ninth Doctor threatens the Slovene that his sonic device will triplicate the flammability of this alcohol.
Okay, I remember that. I just didn't know that this is what it pertained to.
Now, of course, he was lying in that scene, but we now know that the sonic screwdriver can actually use the gases and flammability in the air to cause explosions. And I couldn't find another clip of it, but later in the episode, he can't do it again because he just used up all the gases in that one shot. And you saw the series of explosions that it did. I mean, it had to have used up most, if not all, of the flammable gases in the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I love the effect of like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's like a concussion flash pot.
I like it that they don't all go off at the same time. It takes some time to build up. I feel like it really helped sell the scene even more. Now, of course, this episode, coincidentally, totally unrelated, was the final appearance of this sonic screwdriver. Now, the immediate follow-up episode, Frontier in Space, showed a new design for the sonic screwdriver.
That's the one I'm more familiar with for him.
Yeah, this I mean, it's mostly known for the Fourth Doctor, but yeah, it started with
Yeah.
the Third Doctor, and this is more similar to the design of this prop one, this toy one that I have right now. This is the picture itself, um, slightly enlarged, and this design, for the most part, continued on all the way up till they stopped using the sonic screwdriver altogether. Now,
Yeah, and that would have been during 5, right?
yes. Now
Yeah.
they have sort of repainted the top of it a couple of times. I mean, they changed the coloration of this ring area from orange to red. They recolored the shape of this thing here, but for the most part, the general idea of the sonic screwdriver essentially remained the same all throughout the remainder of the 70s, all the way up to the early 80s. This is another good look at this is again a
Huh.
prop. What?
I always thought it was the interior of the circular thing that was red, not the exterior.
No, like I said, they changed it a little bit. So
Okay.
if you actually, I don't know if you can see, but
Not really. I can kind of see it.
hold on. If you
Okay.
put this
Okay. I
picture
thought
up,
I just thought the colors were inversed on the knobby part of the top.
no, like I said, they feel like the design was good. They just played around with the coloring of the top area. Sometimes it was just the exterior ring, and sometimes it was the exterior ring plus this bulging thing behind it. This is another good look at it. Oh, and if you actually look closely, they actually added a bit of a gold tint below the ring
Oh yeah.
over there. By the way, can you guess what that other thing is?
You mean the pendant?
Yeah,
Other than it's a pendant? No.
it is not. Well, it is not a pendant. That's the key to the TARDIS.
That's the key to the TARDIS. Yeah,
Yes.
see, I wouldn't have guessed that, 50.
Yeah, see, I mean, it's got a chain just like the keys in the modern series.
It could have been a fashion statement.
All right, fine, but see, it was actually Tom Baker's idea. It was he that said that it's completely ridiculous that the TARDIS, this highly advanced machine built by people who are tantamount to gods, would have a simple yell key.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, he actually thought that it made a lot more sense for it to look more futuristic and sci-fi ish, and that was actually the remainder of the design all the way up until the 1996 TV movie. And you can actually there's a scene in the movie where you can actually see Chang Li using this version of the key to enter the TARDIS. Of course,
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean,
I've only seen the movie once, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I like it. That's what I said. When was the last time you seen it?
Probably 2011, something like that.
Yeah, that's why you don't remember. But if you watch, I mean, they actually put an actual scene in there, and it's nice. I think it's the only time where we actually get a close up look at how that key properly works. So, I think it's worth revisiting that scene specifically.
Okay.
But yeah, by this point,
it's just be worth rewatching the movie. It's been a while. But
yeah,
I don't know
I
if I'm
mean,
going
the
to anytime
movie.
soon.
I think the movie got a lot of unnecessary flack at the time, but as Doctor Who fans, with everything else that happened after the movie, I think we're about ready to watch the movie as it is.
It's
you know what?
basically it's to Doctor Who what the prequels are to Star Wars, in a way. Well, here's the thing: people didn't like it at the time for reasons, but now they're actually growing a better appreciation for it. Same thing's happening to the prequels.
But they didn't outwardly hated it like the people hated the prequels.
I didn't say it was exactly like I said it was.
All right,
like.
fine, but I still think it's a wrong comparison. We can have a longer discussion off screen about that, but I wouldn't say, compare the two. That's just me. But yeah, and a version of the Sonic Screwdriver design was also featured in that movie as well. But for the most part, by this point, it was kind of commonly accepted that the sonic screwdriver can do just about anything. Like in Frontier in Space, this is the one I couldn't get clips for, unfortunately, but the Doctor uses it to escape, which is where they set up. Actually, no, it's one of two episodes where they set up the fact that the sonic screwdriver can actually open locks as well. But for a time, it was only just electronic locks. Then, during the Fourth Doctor era, that he kind of expanded the definition to just every lock. And you'd be surprised to know, but they actually added on the thing about it not working on wood in the modern series. This was not a thing in the classic series, mainly because they didn't really have the need to use it on wood.
So I actually do have an apt comparison to this, and it's actually the Green Lantern ring. Because for a long time they had it as Green Lanterns. Well, the original Green Lantern couldn't do anything against wood, but when they rebooted it with Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern couldn't do anything against yellow. But then that was retconned as being like psychosomatic, like something that was imprinted into the ring that wasn't actually real. So that's kind of reminds me of that. How they kind of reverse course.
But since you're the expert on this, refresh my memory. Didn't what's his face? Was it Alan Scott the original?
Yeah, so Alan Scott the original. His had an aversion to wood. Still does, from what I understand. But that's because that is a ring that is not made from the same power source as the Hal Jordan ring. That is made from an earlier attempt to create a Guardian ring. So that's why that one has the aversion to wood.
Because he made it himself, didn't he?
He made it himself out of a falling star. The Shadowheart, I think it's called. And because he was a railway engineer, that's why he made it into the shape of a lantern. Now, however, when they rebooted it in the 60s, they took away that wood impairment, and then they replaced it with yellow.
Yeah, and all to cover up the excuse of why it's called the Green Lantern.
Yeah. But yeah, now the ring has no problem with yellow. Just like the sonic screwdriver doesn't have a problem with wood.
I mean, it still does when it suits the plot.
Right, yeah. Well, that's the thing with the screwdriver. It's when it suits the plot.
Yeah, but again, that's the thing about the screwdriver. It's become so powerful, they have to limit it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where the Doctor basically can use this thing to get out of any situation. And now, of course, this also was the setup during the Fourth Doctor era that now the sonic screwdriver can now also be used to repair things, like, a screwdriver. But yeah, you can just repair computers and fix things. Not fix completely broken things, but sort of help as a do anything tool, like we see in this.
This is Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, kind of. With just one function.
Yeah. It does everything.
You don't have to be like, okay, so which one is the scissors?
Although it definitely felt like that during the second clip that you showed me of the screwdriver, where the Doctor did the thing on the wall. The way he was doing things with the screwdriver, it kind of gave that off. Gave off that impression.
And I'll play just the beginning of this clip again. Look at this.
Relax, Joe, relax.
So yeah, unlike a Swiss Army knife, while the physicalness of it doesn't change, you can definitely tell in the early days that they were doing something to get to the right setting.
And there are some sort of like blink and you'll miss clips or other moments in the modern series where they do that. Like in Voyage of the Damned. Watch Voyage of the Damned right before the Doctor gives Rixton Slade the sonic screwdriver. He's like, okay, I've already preset it. All you have to do is just press this button.
Yep, I remember that.
So yeah, it kind of is a Swiss Army knife. And in The Doctor Dances, the Doctor tells Rose what setting to use to reattach the barbed wire. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there is a bit of a Swiss Army knife element to it that apparently only the Doctor knows. And I kind of like that part of the practicality as opposed to, sorry to say this, some of the Matt Smith stuff where he just points and clicks and it does whatever he wants without, any practicality whatsoever. But we can kind of see that in this next clip with Tom Baker from the Sontaran experiment. Watch here.
Coming, Sarah.
Enjoy yourself. Trafalgar Square should be that way.
Trafalgar Square?
If this is Piccadilly,
You're joking. Aren't you?
mind the traffic.
Yes, 50. Mind the traffic.
Right? You did see that he was doing sort of like this.
Yeah.
Almost like a real screwdriver. Now, this is where my memory gets a little foggy because I am still doing my Doctor Who rewatch. I'm all the way up to between Invasion of the Dinosaurs and Death to the Daleks. I haven't gotten to the fourth Doctor just yet, so I cannot for the life of me remember if this sound effect was actually used for the 70s and 80s screwdrivers. I'm pretty sure that they introduced this sound effect in the modern series.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't recall from any clips that I've seen the sonic screwdriver having that noise. Classic-wise.
I'm pretty sure they had a different, completely different sound, and they just added this modern sound on top of it when they did the re-releases for the Blu-ray and whatnot.
I can see that.
Which I understand why they would do that, but I kind of prefer the original because it kind of shows that the screwdriver wasn't always the same thing, design-wise and sound-wise. So, that's a bit of a nitpick.
Yeah.
But, it's not
the end of the world.
That's not that big. It's just a preference.
Yeah.
It's not like how people reacted to using your Star Wars reference. It's not how people responded to the special editions.
Yeah.
Right?
Idiots.
To be fair, some of the changes were unnecessary.
Some of the changes work, some are useless.
Yeah. But the way people took that is like, yeesh.
I think out of the original trilogy, sorry, we can go back to Doctor Who after this. I think out of the original trilogy, the one where the re-edits and stuff work the most is Empire.
Yes, because the movie itself is already too perfect that even the special editions can't ruin. But also, the changes there make sense.
Exactly.
Like Bespin, for example.
Yep, where instead of it being all enclosed off, you actually open it up so you can see inside the building, where they're doing the shots to when they go to the scene where Han and Leia talk after they arrived on Cloud City. That's that's what I like.
And that's using the technology of the time to improve.
Yeah, because something like that Lucas would have done in 1979.
Yeah, just when he uses all the CGI on the Mos Eisley stuff.
Yeah, that's a little much. Yeah,
but when the same exact scene when he uses CGI to make the sand speeder flow a little bit more smoothly, that's a good type of change.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
back on Who.
But back to Doctor Who. Doctor Who also does that from time to time, and I think for Doctor Who specifically, I think the special editions for classic episodes actually work a lot better. Like, I recently rewatched The Time Warrior, the introduction of Sarah Jane Smith. The opening scene of the Sontaran ship crash landing looks way better than the original thing. The original thing is just a very blurry shot of the night sky and a shiny dot just moving. And this one you actually see the Sontaran pod on fire and smoking, crash landing into Earth. And it's still very low budget effects, but it does service the plot, I think.
All right. I didn't know. I actually, honestly, didn't know they did that. Clearly I knew they had to restore some things, clean some things up. That goes without saying. But I didn't know they actually redid things.
Yeah,
I didn't know they redid things.
Yeah, it's because it's such a staple of television, and it's such a long-running franchise. every once in a while they do these kinds of stuff, like every few years.
Nothing
Which
wrong
is
with
good.
that.
I like that. And of course, this is how we got this.
Have to use this.
What's that?
Animated reconstruction for the missing episode.
Yeah.
And of course, they also do a lot of interesting stuff, like adding the sonic screwdriver sound effects. And even when the sonic screwdriver does stuff, they add some glowing effects when necessary. They don't go overboard with it like Lucas did in the special editions. They add it in when it makes sense. And I'm pretty sure, I think, this next one is also part of the special editions. If not, then it's an improvement of the existing. But I am, of course, referring to the Sonic Screwdriver's final final appearance in the classic series when it was destroyed by the pterodactyls in the Visitation. Watch this clip.
Drop the sonic device.
Isn't my day, is it? I feel as though you've just killed an old friend.
Damn.
Yeah, merciless.
Yeah.
For the screwdriver. Now,
And not Ming.
not what? Oh
Not
yeah,
Ming.
Yeah. The Ming Dynasty.
No, Ming the Merciless from
I
Flash Gordon.
know. I was making a joke. But yeah, I love what the doctor said at the end there. It's like, I feel as if you just killed an old friend.
Basically, he did.
I mean, just going back to the second doctor, look how long the sonic screwdriver was a staple of the doctor's daily routine.
I think it would be more so now if they killed it off.
I think they already kind of wrote themselves into a corner. Like the sonic screwdriver gets destroyed every couple of episodes, and the Doctor just makes a new one. Like Matt Smith's debut episode, the TARDIS just poops the sonic screwdriver out.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is why I appreciate the fact that Jodie Whittaker built her own sonic screwdriver. Now, people have some very strong opinions about the way she keeps using it, but you know what? I feel like the reason she uses it more than almost any other Doctor makes sense because, like, that's her thing. That was a central thing about her story. That, of course, is a story for another time. Now, of course, the Doctor in the classic series did not build another screwdriver. It wasn't like in the modern series where you can just get a new one every other day. He stayed without a screwdriver all throughout his sixth incarnation. It's not unclear exactly where or when, but it's during the seventh incarnation that the Doctor reconstructed a new sonic screwdriver, which was used in his final appearance with the 96 TV movie, but it's not 100% sure when he made that. Like, we do see it several times on audio. I can't remember if it featured in some of the books, but yeah, so the Sixth Doctor sadly just did not have a sonic screwdriver, and it looks as though the Big Finish people are very conscious of that because they keep putting him in situations where he needs a sonic screwdriver and just doesn't have one, and just complains about it. And, you know, it's kind of become a running joke among the fandom that the Doctor basically mourned over the death of his sonic screwdriver more than he mourned about the death of Adric.
Well, it is Adric.
True, and like I said, the sonic screwdriver has been around longer.
Yeah.
So there, Adric. But yeah, so all of these screwdrivers and more can be seen in this scene from the pilot on the 12th Doctor's office desk. Where you
I
get
was
to see
wondering where that came from.
the
I don't remember
background
that shot.
picture.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't remember that shot.
Really?
Yeah, like I've seen those episodes. I just don't remember that shot.
I mean, it's a quick Easter egg. It's a blink and you'll miss it.
Still a great Easter egg.
It's a wonderful Easter egg. Especially since it's situated right next to the photos of Susan and Riversong.
The only thing I don't see the original one in there.
Are you sure? You don't?
The one that looks like a pen light? Yeah, I'm not seeing it unless I'm blind.
It took me a while to see it, but it's there.
Hold on. Ugh.
Apparently, even the person who made this with giving all the names for all the screwdrivers
11.
missed it either. Missed it as well.
Yeah, you're gonna have to point it. Oh no, I see it.
Yep, it's right behind.
It's right behind the 8th.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a pool reference, isn't it? Behind the 8.
behind the 8 ball. Yeah, but yeah, you could just see the shaft.
Yep. Like I said, it took me a while to see it, but I did see it at the end.
Yeah.
Because
Like, I wonder where that other one comes from. The one that looks like a ratchet.
You know what? I actually think it really is just a ratchet.
It might. Well, here's the thing. It looks identical to the Fourth Doctor one.
Hold on, let me just look at. Mine.
Actually, it looks like a combination of 4 and 8.
Yeah, but the 8 one is more silvery on the thing.
No, I'm not talking about the texture. I'm talking about the actual design, the curvatures and stuff like that. It looks like if you took 4 and you took the thicker parts of 8 and you put it in one screwdriver. It really does.
I don't know. It seems a little bit more bulky than the 8th one, and the 8th one seems a little bit more smooth.
Well, no, I'm saying they took. It looks like they took parts of it and made a screwdriver out of it.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah.
I just noticed you kind of have to take into consideration that the 8th one is sort of backwards to that one.
True.
Yeah. Maybe that was clouding our judgment of the thing. But
maybe.
See, I was looking at this picture, and I was saying to myself, there's no way they have all these screwdrivers and didn't include the original one. That's why I sat down and actually looked for it.
Yeah. It's sitting right there like a stir stick. Just it's really hard to see.
They basically have two of the ones that were used by 9 and 10, which actually, if you notice,
it's the same screwdriver.
No, there are slight changes, but that is a story for another time.
Next episode.
Next episode, which I still have you.
Yes, and you will probably see more engagement from me because it's actually about stuff I know.
Yay! Stuff we know.
That's the problem. Like when it comes to talking classic Who, for me, like I'm so clueless to a lot of it that you might as well be speaking Greek to me sometimes.
Anise Anasteri.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a very famous song. So, Soda, where can the good people of the interwebs find you when you're not sitting on your couch watching pay-per-view wrestling?
And pailing with my sonic screwdriver. You can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me all over on this channel doing my usual shenanigans with 50, and you can find me over on the So Diggin' Wrestling channel, where last night, on the day before we recorded this, me and Dagan did a watch along for AEW Wrestle Dream, which has a really great debut at the end of the show.
Is it as great as the debut of the Sonic Screwdriver?
Yeah, because about an entire arena full of people erupted for it.
All right, cool. And you can also find me every Monday on this show, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, every Thursday on Fun Flags, where I teach my good friend Soda about history and culture and stuff, and he just talks about hockey for 40 minutes.
Because hockey is part of our culture. I could do a whole episode on maple syrup.
Go ahead.
I probably couldn't. But, funnily enough, I actually just found this out because my grandpa just came back from Quebec. My godmother, who's my cousin, and her partner actually have a maple syrup farm.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you can also find me on my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek, where I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way to 2022. And yeah, I have already reviewed 2 of the episodes we talked about today, which featured the Sonic Screwdriver. So go ahead and check those out if you could. And you can also check out all the other channels from the wider Benverse at large, like Something to Talk About, Galaxy Geeks, Multiverse of Geekdom, Movie Lovers Unite, the Midnight Cinema 8-time reviews, and of course, In the Front Row, which is another picture on this thumbnail. I am going to get that fixed eventually. but not that it's my thumbnail, but still, I'm gonna talk to the person who made it. Yeah, so this has been us just playing with some screwdrivers for a little bit. And until the next one, we play some more with screwdrivers. Really, that's really what it sounds like.
That's what this one sounds like, yeah.
This is.
It's got multiple noises. And then you extend it. Same thing. And same with... Ah, there it is.
Well, save that for next episode.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Save that for next episode. Don't give everything away. So thank you all for watching, and until the next one, everybody, in the words of Missy herself,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Goodbye.